They did supposed to do all three sides, but something
Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. A quorum being present, calling this meeting to order. Historic Preservation Board meeting for December 20, 2022. A lot of twos.
lights down.
I don't have to start over, do I? We heard you. Welcome, everybody. This is our last meeting of the year. Do we have any requests to speak card? Having none, we'll move on. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the November 15th meeting minutes.
I wasn't present. I wasn't present for the meeting.
I was present. I will make a motion that we approve the minutes from the November 15th meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Note please that the absent members. Another set of meeting minutes from December 6, 2022. Questions, concerns?
I make a motion that the minutes from December 6, 2022 be approved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting minutes for December 6, 2022 are approved. The third item on the agenda is receive a report, hold the discussion, and take action on restoring character-defining features, reconstructing modified or altered historic elements, and adding amenities to update the building at 399 to 301 East Main. Case 2022-083H.
So this is the Travelers Hotel, the long-awaited process, and I think Mr. Earnhardt could tell us more about that. But the state and federal approval process is very in-depth, and so now we are ready to. We're ready to look at the whole. Before, you have seen just a portion of it on the side when they were doing demolition to some other structures. And so now it's the big building, and they're going to restore it. And so there's some reconstruction and then adding amenities. One thing that is really exciting is the windows, and I want him to tell you about the windows. But we can go through this, but I think it would be better for Mr. Earnhardt to just say a few words, and then for you to ask any questions.
Mr. Earnhardt, will you state your name and
Jonathan
address?
Earnhardt, 110 South Houston, Denison, Texas.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for undertaking this project.
All right.
And I realize it's a tax credit project, so the presentation needs to be very, very complete for everybody. But thank you for the very, very complete presentation. And thank you for taking on this project.
All right, you're welcome. Well, it's been long, so this is almost like, it seems a past distant memory, but we haven't even started yet. You know, we probably put in with the state almost 2 years ago. So that process, we've been kind of going back and forth with them. I mean, they changed just very, very small stuff, you know, but definitely took their time doing it. The plan was originally to leave the building as original as we can possibly get it and make it look as old and original as we could, adding back, like she was saying, the windows had been replaced recently with newer windows. I ended up going and buying back most of the original windows, so I've got the majority of them back, and then any new ones we'll try to mimic or do anything exact as we can to give the old window look. You know, being that they are pulled out, we may have to meet new code, so some of them may not pass and may not be able to be put back in, because a lot of them, if they're low, especially on 2 second floors, you have to have tempered or safety glass that can go there. So I don't know the exemptions or what we'll be able to do versus what we can. So if not, we may have to go back to more lookalikes, or versus some of them might be too rotted to restore type thing. So that'll be kind of learning as we go. We left that open with the state too, like, hey, we're going to try to restore some of them, the windows, or we're going to try to replace them with like windows, or if we don't have any luck, we'll kind of leave the windows there now. That way, if they don't like what we're doing, we can always kind of figure that part out later. We didn't know. There we picked a couple colors. We really just kind of picked those in a hurry. We're not really set on the colors. What we're trying to do is we've got some black and whites, and we got like one color photo that's really old. In there they had like white or a off-white, it's hard to tell, paint, and then it had a dark brown trim painted with it too. And that's the color that we kind of like and want to match. It's really been a light tan lately, or off-white and a lot of tan and white type thing. It's kind of changed colors over the years. We prefer the earlier colors where it had some more accent. It wasn't just tan, sort of like that, different bases of tan. If you look at it when it was actually turned into a Travelers Hotel, and some early pictures of when it was a house, it had a lot of dark trim, or it had a lot of white, just white without the dark trim. So kind of we put those brown and whites in there now, those in a tan, so we know we'll be a mix of those colors, just knowing that's what's been on there in the past. The whole outside will be just refurbished to really look identical to what it was. We'll take these cages off. We have already had the doors remade. We found one original outside door, so I think that one actually right there with that cage is original. So we had all the doors remade identical to that. I mean, within a 1/4 inch less of spec and everything, so it'll really look original. The only thing we will be doing on the back where there was already that addition, we'll be putting a new addition there. We'll be tearing that addition down. We kind of made it where it covers less of the building, where before this part went over the brick and stone wall, the addition they had on there. And then we moved it back where you can see the stone wall. There was a porch originally in that corner right there, a little bit towards the back where we say kitchen now. So there wasn't really any brick or stone that was exposed there. It was a wooden porch at one point, but it's been modified and closed in for at least 50, 60 years. So that's the part we're going to kind of cover to make our in and out, and then build that kitchen back there. So we're really not modifying the inside. I guess y'all don't address the inside too much, but we're trying to leave the inside as original as possible too. That you look at the outside, it's pretty rough, but the inside, it's really pretty. The wood's really in good shape. A lot of things are in good shape. So we'll try to leave that pretty much original too. Then we'll have the outdoor seating area and stuff like that. This was where they made us change a lot of things. And it's really, they just wanted certain materials used to give it more historic look. So, we might have a grass fencing in the picture now. At first we were doing metal. And so now I think they made us do metal or back and then cover it with things like that. So just something they thought flowed more historically, I guess. You can't match it exactly, so they want you to differentiate the two type thing. But
Jonathan, would you
There's a lot.
please address who they?
oh, sorry. Well, it would be two different groups that do
All
different
right.
times. So it would be the state, and then I guess it's the historic parks for the federal government that kind of come back and give their input, and then we change the plans, send it back to them. These wouldn't be final plans because they did give us approval, but with request on that approval. So some of the things are on the entryway you see there on the left side down at the bottom, we kind of have a sign that says Travelers. And that flower pit, it's really just concrete there. They really wanted us to retain the bricks that are there if we can. You know, that wall's really deteriorated right there at that point. It's kind of overflowing, so we'll be trying to save that if we can. And it's really, part of it's already missing. It was cut out probably when it changed from housing to a hotel, so probably, I mean, almost 100 years ago. So some of that wall's already missing, so it's, I don't know exactly how we'll get it back or close it in, but we'll work with them and making sure that matches something they're satisfied with. Maybe moving the brick where we are putting the steps, moving it over to there if it's even possible. It's really old limestone. That was actually dug up from the side itself. So it's conditioned, you know, being exposed. Some of it's just not so great. We'll have to see if it's reusable and stuff. But otherwise, I mean, all the new stuff's kind of going in the new addition, the kitchen itself and the little areas there. So really, you'll be housing a restaurant on the bottom 2 floors. Everything will look original. Doors will be in their original places. We're not busting walls out or anything like that. All the cavities will kind of be the same. There's an old wall that they've taken out that will repair better and things like that. But for essence, we're not even moving doors around or anything like that. So it's going to be pretty close to original all the way out. We do obviously have to do a sprinkler system in there. We didn't engineer it with the plans because we're going to try to kind of engineer it as we go type thing, almost with electrical too. That way we can save the most, work around what's there the best we can as we expose different things like that, instead of just saying, hey, let's drill a pipe here in the middle of the floor, run it up through all 4 floors. We're going to try to put it right outside under the covering of the new addition, come in at the least interrupting point or hidden points, and then sprinkle it that way. And that's kind of how that part's working, or their plans there, and then we'll engineer each little thing. Now the new addition, probably each thing will be engineered on that. We just didn't know the floor plan of exactly what they would approve, so that'll be kind of a step process there. But that way there's not too much exposed on the outside. If you'll see over the years, there's been power that's been run outside and plugged in. We're really going to try to remove that and take it back inside cavities that we can without destroying too much. You know, they probably did it for ease. We'll do the extra work to try to hide it within the walls, again, if possible, without tearing too much stuff up. They had that with the restaurant sign. I've recovered half that so far. I think someone says they have the other half, so hopefully I can get that and get that back up. It'd be the original sign from the 70s that the Brent brothers had there. So it almost really looked like just a historic restore from the outside. You won't be able to really tell a whole bunch. We're not doing anything to make it modern or look different or step out. We just really want to brighten it up and clean it up and repair everything. There's definitely a lot of damage on that outside and wear over the years, so we'll just be working to restore that to make it look new but still look old.
I have one question, just mostly curiosity. When the building was in transition, I was in there and there was a huge, I think it went both first and second floor, but it's where the HVAC had been imposed in the space.
Yep.
So just out of curiosity, what happened to that, what will happen to that sort of gaping hole, and then where's the HVAC going to be?
So they did that through windows at the end of the hallways is how they did that. So we'll restore those windows there, and then we'll move the HVAC in. They had like coat closets,
Right.
And we're going to try to squeeze them in those coat closets, and then they'll come out towards the top. And right now they have drop ceilings that kind of cover that, and we'll have exposed duct. We requested to do copper ducting through the whole building, which would be super expensive but neat, but they declined us. So they rather us just do metal and then paint it to match. So since it's not original, it wouldn't be they don't want you looking at copper ducting. They want you to look at something the wood nicer than the copper ducting, I guess. So we kind of got kicked out on that. That was going to be one of our favorite things, you know. But, so we should have it pretty much hidden and then just in the hallways now. Right now, they have it at the end of in each room it shoots and goes into the other rooms with just vents right there. We're gonna try to do that same thing if it's sufficient enough. And so in the hallways, you'll see spiral ducting exposed or pancake ducting is spiral, but flattened a little bit. So it doesn't hang so low. Square ducting's just not quite as attractive, but if we have to do it because of space or a code requirement, we'll go down to that.
Well, it's good that giant thing didn't affect what you can do with that floor space.
Yeah, that thing is horrible, and they're drilled through the floors and stuff, but we'll restore all that, and you won't be able to tell it was there.
So I guess from a board perspective, it's nice knowing that, you have to meet both the state and the federal requirements. So that makes this process a little pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's quite a project.
It-
I think you and Mr. Patronicola with the Petty Depot are probably going to share some stories.
Yeah, one of the biggest things for us was it's obviously their drawings, and they kept going, well, the grass looks like turf. Well, it says you have an line item description, and it says grass, and they were like, well, we want it to look more like grass in the drawing. So here, they sent that back to us to draw grass better. So he had to put, if you'll notice, there's taller looking grass over that green looking grass. We just had to redo just the pettiest things, even though it said grass. They're renderings, obviously they're not real pictures. So, that came as a concern twice. And so the second time is when we actually had to change it on the picture to make it, I guess that satisfied them finally. But they didn't want turf back there.
And Mr. Earnhardt, where do you feel that you are in the process for the tax credits to be approved in Florida?
So now we got preliminary approval, meaning they said they'll send us a written one. We'll receive it in 2 weeks. That was just about a week or two ago. I haven't received it in the mail, but we should be official any day. They said once we get it in hand. So I'd be subject to any comments they made, which I think the only comments were something about the new addition and a couple other things. And we sent them to the architect right away to change. I think they wanted to go ahead and get rid of the stucco there or something and do something different. I can't remember what comment they made. Something about that transition. Or no, they didn't like the flat roof, I don't think. And we were trying to distinguish so you could tell where the old building and new building come. So, I guess there's no other flat. There is flat roof on that. All the patio that goes around the front and on the roof, very top, but still, I guess they wanted something different.
Will you be leaving the Travelers Hotel signage there?
Yep. So we'll repaint it. Like I said, I think in the earlier picture that we liked had a dark brown right there, and that's the one I'd go back to just try to make it pop or look different than it's looked for 20 years, so you can see the difference of the remodel more than anything,
Congratulations for moving along as you have. Thank you for your commitment to the building. Do you have any idea what sort of projection you have till when you might be done?
We have 18 months under their guideline, so that would be what we have to hit. And, now I feel like we're starting over. I feel like so long ago that we applied for this, it's just way on the back burner, not even a thought. It's just like something that never would happen. It feels like, so we'll have to re-gear up to get planted, but hopefully we can get it done in the 18 months because we still got a lot of engineering to do. That's going to be a holdup. Times from when we started to now have changed quite a bit. Now a lot of people, the engineers and architects, are definitely been backed up for a long time, and they don't like projects like this because you're going into an old building, and so it's a lot of work. So now I can't have an architect or an engineer tell me 12 months because it's going to take me 6 months to figure out what I need, and I can't have him waiting 12 months. So it's definitely going to be a project on figuring those timelines out, in the main fact of the fact that we're going to have that electrical and that sprinkler system engineered. So we'll have to press hard on that.
It's not just a building, it's an art, what you're doing.
Right, exactly. Thank you, I respect it.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I remember Josh Massey going through national parks, where he's building on the 500 block, so I'm proud of your ambition. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we'll skip that on the Rialto.
I hear ya.
Any questions, concerns? And what sort of action would you request, Ms. Dow, from the board? Mr. Earnhardt?
If you're okay with it, I think approval, and then if there are any modifications to what you saw, they'll need to come back.
Do you have a
I
motion?
motion that we approve.
I second that we approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Thank y'all.
So you need to
Thank
get
you.
your building permit, and we'll get this up to them so they can.
I'll probably have to ask on them a lot of that, because that's the next problem is because pulling a permit without it fully engineered, will be the
Right.
thing. We'll probably have to do stuff. So I'll talk to them and find out.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Next item, staff updates, receive report, hold a discussion on staff's approval of signage at 400 West Main, case 2022-084H.
I approve this in office. I just wanted you to be aware of it. And if ever there's something that causes you concern, you can tell me and we'll halt that. But I just wanted you to be aware.
So there's no action we need to take?
No.
Okay.
Once again,
Thank
we
you.
welcome a new merchant to the street and wish him
Yes.
every success.
I saw it just a few minutes ago down there. It looks really nice.
Us?
Thank you, Donna,
Thank
for
you.
taking care of it.
Are there any other agenda items, Ms. Dow?
No, ma'am.
I would like to bid a fond adieu to Jennifer Knott, who's leaving our board at the end of the year. Mr. Alexander is also Mr. Alexander is going to leave when a replacement is determined by council, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
And Kurt Jakowski is in the process of his application with the council. We hope to welcome you to our board soon.
Ms. Dow can
Yeah, it was
confirm, but I
approved.
think the last council I was approved.
Excellent,
Yay.
welcome, welcome. And at the first meeting in January, we'll ask you to share with the other board members a bit about yourself so that it will also be reflected in the minutes.
Certainly.
You are welcome to be with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Thank you. Anything else? Motion to
Merry
adjourn?
Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, see you in the new year. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.